Hello, everybody. My name is Alexa, and welcome to episode 2 of the Chips and Guac podcast. Welcome. We made it through the second week of January. Barely. Barely. um, I was a little bit concerned when I first started doing this podcast. I was just like, man, what if I'm gonna have like a slow news week and I just don't have anything to talk about? And it would seem that I don't have to worry about that, at least for another week. So we'll see how it goes. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. As you can see, I treated myself for those of you that are watching, I guess those of you that are just listening, you can't see, but just imagine that I have a super cool wig on. Whatever you imagine a super cool wig to be, just imagine it, and that's what I'm wearing, and I feel dope as heck. So, yeah, I treated myself to that. That's what I did this week. Happy with myself. All negative comments about my wig will be deleted because I am fragile. We actually have a lot to talk about. Like, I kept trying to keep up with my notes over the course of the week because I also kept putting off recording this podcast. I just kept getting busy with other things, keeping track of Twitch things and Etsy things and stuff like that. Like, I've just been all over the place, so I apologize. I also have a giant bag of laundry that I need to get around to dealing with. I just like refuse to deal with it. I'm just pretending it's not there and I just keep moving it. And I should really get around to folding. It's clean. That's the worst part, is that it's clean. I just don't want to fucking put it away. So I just have this giant bag of laundry that's like constantly in my way, and it's actually kind of annoying, but also folding clothes sucks. So that's what I've been doing all week. I hope you guys have been more responsible than I have. So I'm assuming you guys have heard about everything that happened last week. I'm not going to get too interested. Like, I'm not going to dive into everything that happened because you know already, fascists stormed the Capitol, because that's a thing you do when you disagree with someone, but go off, I guess. And I think, like, obviously that's a pretty crazy thing to happen. I think what kind of intrigued me the most about it was that there were so many events, like, leading up to this happening, and it just seemed crazy the entire time. And I think what really drew my attention was how many times, like, Twitter had to block a Donald Trump tweet, and it just cracked me up. Like, I was just like, God, dude, chill out. Maybe get off your phone. Like, the Capitol's being like attacked from all entry, and like the security was just garbage. Like, I don't know. And then we also had like some cops that were helping rioters get in and fuck shit up and steal things, and that's just insane to me. And I think obviously you guys all know that that happened, so I don't need to dive into all of that. But I think what drives me crazy about this whole situation is that obviously this has basically led to the entire deplatforming. I was gonna say deplatformation, but I was like, that doesn't. I don't know if that's a word. Let me know in the comments if that's a word, because I don't know if that's a word. Like, basically, Donald Trump was just entirely deplatformed, and I find it so interesting. I don't know if that's like, I don't, is that the word I want to look for? I'm just kind of amazed how someone has managed to get completely deplatformed on literally all forms of social media. We're talking Facebook, Twitter, fucking, like, we've had like some of his apps like removed from the App Store. Like, I don't, like, he was banned on Twitch and Discord. Like, who gets banned on Discord? You know how hard that is to get banned? Like, do you know how hard it is in general to get banned from a social media website? Like, all you have to do is, like, not be a piece of shit. Like, and I, and that just, it cracks me up. Like, literally on Twitter, you can literally post a picture of your butthole and it doesn't break terms of service. But, it's not like, maybe don't incite an entire civil war on the Capitol and claim that the election was stolen from you just because you lost. Like, I don't it's so crazy how much of a like child this guy is. And I think what drives me crazy about it too is that a lot of his I think this has also kind of developed a conversation about censorship. And I think this is what's been driving me crazy about everything that like this whole giant ripple effect has caused. Like I really cannot stand this conversation of censorship out of nowhere because it's like, okay, like I can post a picture of my butt if I wanted to. And some websites might not like that. Some websites let me do it. Cool. Awesome. Um I don't understand why people think inciting a riot is okay. Like it's literally the first like for those of you that actually go through the trouble of reading the terms of service, like one of the first things they tell you is like, "Hey, maybe don't bully people and don't do any like call to action type things." Like maybe, don't say, "Hey, we should all, you know, assault this person. We should all storm the Capitol." Like, I don't understand why that's so hard to believe. And I think I'm really tired. Like, in 2016, if you were kind of still like in this kind of mentality where you were like, oh, people have different opinions, XYZ, I can maybe kind of give you a free pass on that. But in 2021, after all of the years that you've seen this bullshit happen over and over and the disgusting things that this guy has said and done with his power, for you to still be like, oh my God, I can't believe we're censoring Trump because, like, we just don't like Trump. It's like, no, dude, like, he literally tried to have people, like, he literally encouraged people to hold people hostage because he lost the election. Like, there's evidence of him basically being like, see, this is what happens when you steal an election. And then, like, Twitter had to keep being like, hey, like, Twitter had to keep, like, tagging his posts and being like, hey, this is kind of, like, not true. Just so you guys know. So, like, every other tweet had, like, a little exclamation point on the bottom of it that was like, hey, this is false information, just so you guys know. Don't believe what this says. And I think I'm tired of the idea of like freedom. Like, I'm not tired of the idea of freedom of speech. Like, obviously, like, yes, freedom of speech is very necessary, but I'm tired of people putting this under the category of freedom of speech. It's like, oh, this is freedom of speech. It's like, no, dude, it's not. Like, freedom of speech basically means that the government cannot arrest you or, hold you to some like legal standard of things that you say. Like, even if it's the most outrageous thing ever. Like, I can say fuck Donald Trump and I won't go to jail for that. That's what freedom of speech is. Like, I feel like people think that freedom of speech means that you can say whatever you want and like experience no consequences. And I'm just like, no, that's not no, that's not correct at all. And I think that's just what's been driving me crazy about it is that people are clearly uneducated when it comes to the terms of freedom of speech and they don't understand that it's a government thing. It's not like a private company thing. Like, I just feel like people don't understand how freedom of speech works. Like, they really think that it just means you don't have any consequences for things that you say. Do you understand how powerful I would have been as a retail employee if I can tell a customer to go fuck himself and not lose my job? Like, like that is the idea of freedom of speech that you guys are thinking it is. Like, freedom of speech doesn't mean I can say what I want and not get in trouble. That's not how that works. Like, if I say something and Twitter doesn't like it, or it literally puts people in danger. It's not even like, oh, we don't like Donald Trump, we're banning him. It's his words are literally putting people in danger and inviting people to fucking storm the Capitol. Like, what is it? Like, obviously, this is the kind of power that someone shouldn't have and can't be trusted with. So, yeah, he should be banned on all of his platforms. And I'm not sorry for saying that because I think it's ridiculous that people are kind of like, oh, this is like censorship and stuff. I remember like even like I think Joe Rogan was even saying like I'm a little bit concerned because this is like censorship and it's like how like do people get to just deplatform someone like because they don't like what I say, and it's like, dude, that's not what's happening. And I can't stress that enough. Like, stop making it about censorship when it's not about censorship. Like, it's about people's lives. Someone literally died because of what happened. People got injured, and and then honestly, like, those people, like, most of those people, like, yeah, maybe some people got arrested or whatever, but the fact that they even got that far shows how much privilege they have, and it's just so frustrating. Like, this girl really went on live television and was like, "Oh my god, they pepper sprayed me," and if you look really close, you can see that she literally has an onion. She took an onion and rubbed her eyes all over the onion and was like, "Oh my god, they pepper sprayed me because they wouldn't let me go in the Capitol. How tragic." And I'm like, first of all, you're an idiot. Like, yeah, you should get pepper sprayed if you try to storm the Capitol. I don't understand. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And it sucks because there's a part of me that like wants to find comfort in all of this being over. But it's like it's not gonna be over. Like it's gonna continue. It's like these people aren't just gonna go away. Um, I'm really concerned. I'm not sure when the inauguration happens. Is that on the 20th? I don't know. I don't know political dates for things and stuff like that, but I was actually kind of laughing because I think Donald Trump's last tweet was something along the lines of, "For those of you asking, no, I will not be I will not be going to the inauguration," and I was just, like, laughing because I was like, "No one asked, but thanks, I guess." Like, no one wants you there, dude. Like, of course you're not going. That's perfectly fine because you're just a big fucking baby and you can't take that L. Just take the L, dude. Like, just all of the comments were memes of just like, "Oh, looking for someone who asked," and it was cracking me up. Like, I saw a picture of, like, someone, like, looking through, like, a telescope. It was like a pirate looking through, like, a telescope, and it was just, like, me looking for someone who asked, and it just cracked me up. I need to spend some time looking at more of those memes, but, it's been pretty quiet on the internet. I gotta say, deplatforming one individual person has really made the internet kind of quiet. Like, I feel like Twitter's like 60% less toxic because there's just no one to fuel the flames anymore, and it's interesting. It's very interesting to see like all of the platform. Like, it's very interesting to see how what you do on one platform can get you banned on all the other platforms and stuff like that. It's quiet. It's nice and quiet, and I think if anything, you know what I'm upset of? This is so dumb. This is gonna be such a, but I'm just genuinely, I'm so fascinated by everything that's happened since the deplatforming of Donald Trump and how they seem like they're not related, but they are. Can we just talk about how like this whole civil war against the Capitol somehow created the deletion of the PogChamp emote? Can we just take a moment? I need to take a moment. Um, so for those of you that have no idea what PogChamp is, you might have heard, if you have any of those weirdo friends that say stuff like Pog and Poggers and PogChamp outside of the Twitch community, um, you might have heard the word before if you're just not familiar with what it is. Um, I'm gonna put the emote on the screen. This is the emote here. This emote had to be removed from Twitch because the guy, I don't even know his name. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you ever see those global emotes and you don't know who the fuck they belong to? You just know that they're like, I don't know who Kappa is. I don't know who, oh, the what guy face is. And those are like the emotes that I find myself using a lot, but I don't know who they go to. Anyway, I digress. So the PogChamp guy, whatever, basically started going on like this conspiracy theory MAGA rant or whatever on Twitter, and it basically got his emote removed from Twitch, which is one we have seen that before where people have gotten into like controversy and their emotes had to get removed from Twitch. That happened with the RNG guy as well. Um which is fine. Happens, I guess. Good. I mean, good for that because I think that guy was like a super duper douchebag. for something. I didn't look into it. I was kind of like, oh, he's a douchebag. What a surprise. Uh, so, anyways, so his email got removed. So PogChamp got removed for this guy going on a conspiracy theory. Like, I think he was very much one of those like mega people that were kind of just like, yeah, the election was stolen, XYZ. So Twitch has decided to resolve the issue by having a different PogChamp emote every day. I don't know where to begin with this. I think one, I applaud Twitch. I think this is gonna be like one of those like I'm walking on thin ice here because I feel like everyone's always mad at Twitch. And I feel like every now and then I kind of take the wins when we get them. Like I'm really grateful that they removed the emote in the first place. Because a lot of people were calling for it and they were like, this guy's kind of crazy. We don't want his emote globally available on Twitch. And I'm grateful at the speed, like literally like within like 24 hours, 48 hours, they had removed the emote. So I appreciated the speed that they removed the emote, I suppose. And I could also understand there's a sense of urgency because PogChamp was a very popular emote. And I can understand the sense of urgency to replace the emote as well. And I'm not so much as upset about having a different PogChamp emote every week or every day. Not every week, every day. And I think they're reaching out to partners and they're having people like take the picture and like they make it into an email. I don't know. I don't know how making emails works like that. But it's just it's been followed by a lot of hate, and I think Twitch needs to do better about protecting their community. And I think that's kind of like where a lot of the criticism toward Twitch comes from. And it's a lot of people of color and trans and like LGBTQ communities, drag queens. Like I think the last time I like checked to see what the emote was. Forgive me, I don't recall the name, but I remember it being a drag queen, a very popular drag queen, and there was just so much hate under the comments, like under the tweets, and I just don't understand. Just replace it. Like you are exposing your content creators to all of these shitty criticism that they didn't ask for, that they can't control. Like it's one thing that if you come into my chat and like you say something shitty and like I can ban you and like that's fine and then that's kind of like the end of it for the most part. But it's like for you to be broadcasting and exposing your creators to so much hate and to be ignoring it kind of sucks. Granted, I don't know, like again, like Twitch can't just be like, "Hey guys, maybe don't be a douchebag." Like I don't know. Like it's definitely tricky and I just wish they would kind of just pick a permanent one and kind of just get someone to fucking draw a shocked face and call it a day. Yo, just put fucking shocked Pikachu as PogChamp and we wouldn't have this issue. No one hates Pikachu. There's no Pikachu propaganda out there. So just fucking have someone draw a shocked Pikachu and that's going to be the new PogChamp. Let me know in the comments if that is a reasonable solution for everyone, because I'm tired of seeing all the hate, man. Like it never ends. Like when did this, like I always knew that people on the internet sucked, but I don't know if it's quarantine, everyone's extra cranky, like everyone's like tired of this pandemic. Like I'm sorry that you haven't been able to go to Olive Garden and sit down and have some spaghetti in a year, but like come on, man. Like learn to make spaghetti at home with all this free time you have. Do some fucking yoga. Do some breathing exercises. I don't understand why everyone's so angry. We should be used to it by now. All right? This is happening. Wear a mask, chill out. I don't know how we got here, but it's just everyone's just so mad all the time. And I'm just like, dude, it's just an emote. Like, come on, guys. We need to be kind. We need to be kinder to one another. It's really exhausting. While we're on the topic of being kinder to people, and like something else that somehow this wasn't the craziest story all week, and I find that to be hilarious. So I don't know if you guys like saw it while everything was happening, but while people were just casually storming the Capitol, a very very interesting news title just like swept on by really quickly, and I feel like not many people noticed. But it was basically Kim and Kanye getting a divorce. And okay, I don't even know where to begin with this. First of all, Kim and Kanye getting a divorce. So what? Okay, also, like, so what? Like, I don't understand why people are always so obsessed with people breaking up, and like, I guess like Kim and like, when you really think about it, let's have a heart to heart. Seriously. And I think people might disagree with me, but I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Kim and Kanye getting married didn't really benefit either of them. Like, it really feels like they kind of just got married, and like, it doesn't feel like either of them benefited from getting, not that like getting married should benefit either of them, but it's like they're celebrities. I don't know, I feel like everything's that like that celebrities do is like a business transaction. So I'm just saying, I'm just like it doesn't, like, I don't care if they get divorced because it literally is not going to affect her. I don't keep track of anything they do anyway. It's so exhausting. If you try to keep track of anything the Kardashians do, you will be exhausted. And I don't support either of them in any particular way. Like, the only like concept of Kim Kardashian that I kind of respect is that I really admire how she managed to take her situation and make it like an empire. That's impressive. Great, good for her. And I think she's actually like trying to go to law school. Also good for her. I feel like a lot of people hate on her and they're like, "Oh, she's so fucking dumb, like she can't be a lawyer." I don't feel like that. I feel like that's gatekeeping. Like, what the fuck do I know about being a lawyer? Like, and I don't know. Like, I don't like it when people kind of gatekeep people's careers and they kind of try to make it seem like they can't do this one thing if they did this one thing. Like, honestly, like, if she can turn a sex tape into a law career, that's more than half of us have ever done when you really think about it. So, I just feel like, maybe you guys shouldn't be a hater. Don't be hating, all right? So put down the haterade and just, I root for her in that, in that aspect of her life. But I digress. I went on a tangent. I apologize. But let's stop the Kim Kardashian hate in at least in that regard. There are a million other reasons you can hate any of the Kardashians, but I feel like trying to become a lawyer is not one of them. So maybe, figure that out. With that being said, so yeah, Kim and Kanye are getting a divorce. I don't, like I said, don't care. But I think what kind of added the twist was the fact that someone had started a rumor that the reason that they're getting a divorce is because Kanye and Jeffree Star were like hooking up. And for those of you that don't know who Jeffree Star is, just don't. Congratulations, first of all, for not knowing who he is. Bless your life must be great because it's really exhausting to know who Jeffree Star is. Um, internet personality. I don't know how to explain it. Like, does makeup, does used to do music, has a makeup empire, does YouTube, and social media stuff, whatever. Um, and so I think that's kind of like where the tea was. And I'm gonna be that guy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be that sensitive Twitter person. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna do it. I really don't like it when rumors and stuff like this kind of out people because I feel like this is, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like this is like the second or third time that people have like kind of tried to out Kanye West. And granted, this is just a rumor, and she, like, even the girl that started the rumor admitted to making the whole thing up. Um, and I think she's even like getting sued. I think Kim is like legit like suing her, which is great, good for her because she like dead ass made something up. But I don't like it when tea and stories and stuff like this kind of are like, oh, like so and so celebrity likes men, and it's just like, ugh, like, that's so shitty. Like, imagine like outing someone. Like, even if that was the case, like, why would you even say anything? And the thing, I think what it is that Jeffree Star has spoken a lot about how he has hooked up with people in the music community, the music business, and literally like his life has been threatened of like, oh, if you tell anybody, I, you know, if you tell anybody, I'm going to murder you and stuff like that. So it's like people were like, oh, if this is true, like, yeah, like Jeffree Star said this thing, so it's gotta be true. And I'm just like, that's not evidence. Like, that's not how that works. And I think I really hate, like, listen, I'm gonna take a moment. I really hate that y'all really put me up here and y'all put me in a situation that I have to defend Kanye West. Because honestly, with all the, like, Trump supporting stuff that he's been into the past couple years, I'm not his biggest fan. Uh, but however, I do understand that a lot of the situations that he puts himself in comes from a sense of mental health. And I think he's just surrounded by people that keep encouraging him to not take his medication. And I'm very much worried for him most of the time. And I think, you know, let's say allegedly that he enjoys doing stuff with men. Let's say. Why do we care? So what? Like, who cares? Like, there's so many other things to care about in the world to like judge a person for. And I just like if he was interested, then like dope. Maybe that would be something that like him coming out about that kind of thing would be something that improves his mental health. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, first of all, it's not even true. The girl who literally made up that rumor, I don't know if you guys remember. Do you guys remember a girl on TikTok that literally went viral for licking a toilet? Yeah, it's fucking the toilet licking girl. Like, what kind of credibility does she even have? Nothing. She licks toilets in her spare time. Okay? She's probably losing a few brain cells in the process. So, she literally, like, admitted to just making this shit up. And it's just really, like, upsetting because it's like, that's obviously not been true, and there have been news articles like writing about it, and now that's just out there forever. And like their kids are gonna read that, like eventually one day, like their kids are gonna read that, and it's just like so like I feel like people don't understand that when you say things like this and you do stuff like this, you really do like ruin families. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. Like, maybe, maybe don't say that people are gay when they're not, or bi when they're not. Like, just let people say what they are and respect it. Let people get divorced in private. Like, it's not like, first of all, aren't like they like almost get divorced like every other week anyway? It's exhausting. And like, who cares if they stay married or not? Like, at the end of the day, I imagine they would still be co-parenting their children. If I'm not mistaken, is it like, aren't they all? I'm just stressed. Like, I'm just like, I was just thinking, I was like, are any of the Kardashians like with their baby? I can't keep track. I don't even remember how many of them are there, how many have kids, how many have husbands, boyfriends, baby daddies. Like, I can't keep up. So I don't know. It doesn't, that seems to be part of the brand to get divorced anyway. So I'm honestly not even surprised. I'm surprised it lasted this long, if I had to be honest. I don't know when they got married, but I'm surprised it lasted this long considering how fast they started getting together after her first divorce. So keeping up with the Kardashians is definitely like exhausting, and I can't keep up. I'm literally like burning calories trying to keep up, and it's not worth it. The payback is just not worth it. I also saw something trending on Twitter that I thought to be pretty interesting, and I'm really excited to talk about it. I mean, I don't have much to say because it's actually old news. It's gonna be the last thing we talk about, actually. But I'm really excited about it. Uh, somehow, don't know how, these pictures from like 2017 of a Barbie campaign came up on Twitter. I don't know who randomly just brought it up again, but it started trending, and I'm really excited. It literally has a picture of her with another girl, and they're both wearing t-shirts that say love wins, and I'm really excited that Barbie's kind of gay. I'm here for it because I really think something that I always thought that was interesting was that I remember, I think it was The Toys That Made Us. I remember watching a documentary, and I think I think I saw this in the documentary. I don't know if someone else told me or this was in the documentary. They were talking about Barbie. And they were basically talking about how Barbie can basically never marry Ken because like it makes her less appealing or something like that. Like in a way it kind of limited her from being able to do other things. So I don't know if they just like wanted Barbie to have a bunch of boyfriends or what, but they like or girlfriends for that matter. um but yeah, like they literally said like they can never get married. And when you really think about it, they never get married. And then also apparently, according to like some Wikipedia article, Barbie and Ken broke up in like 2004. And I just fell down this Barbie conspiracy of how Barbie is no longer with Ken and is now bisexual or gay or something, and I'm just living for it. That's it. That's the story. Because I just always thought it was interesting that they never got married, but I guess we know why. So yeah, that's me just talking about everything I've seen on the crate. This internet stuff is this podcast is always going to be like a roller coaster. I'm going to be honest with you, because if this is how the rest of the news for the internet is always going to be, I'm just going to be like constantly exhausted trying to keep up. We talked about storming the Capitol, Kim Kardashian getting divorced, PogChamp, and Barbie being gay. So I'm really sorry if this podcast is just ridiculous and just all over the place, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got some positive feedback from the first episode. If you guys want to see more of these, you guys know what to do. I'm not going to I can't. I don't want to be that guy that's like, "Hey, hit the like button, share with your friends and stuff." I hate that. Um but you know, it wouldn't hurt if you thought about doing that. So, with that being said, that's been this crazy week on the internet. I'm just gonna like, I have to figure out how to organize this podcast in a better way, because honestly, a lot of these topics are just all over the place. And I feel like I need to divide them into segments or something like that. If you guys have any feedback for the podcast, please let me know. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.